9 out of 10 Japanese men fundamentally dislike Japanese women. The reasons for this are... Hi, this is Nataro. I admire American men. Watching Sex and the City, even after being hesitant and losing half their wealth in divorce, they still claim to love woman. They go through multiple divorces and marriages, displaying incredible vitality. Perhaps the fundamental attitude toward woman is different from that in Japan. This time, I'll delve into the reasons why many Japanese men are fundamentally averse to women, as an insider. Misogyny refers to a dislike or contempt for women or femininity, distinct from sexism. It's not about wanting to denigrate women, it's an inability to like them on a fundamental level. However, to avoid misunderstandings, I want to clarify that most Japanese men do like women to some extent. In other words, they appreciate their material and physical attributes. It's just the spiritual aspects, personality, specific social behaviors, dishonesty, cunning, maliciousness, the tendency to form cult-like groups, and increased exclusivity in groups that they dislike. I emphasize again, they appreciate women physically. Japanese men start thinking, I want to die for the woman I love, even before reaching adolescence. They are constantly searching for a woman they can think, I would do anything for her. Nearly all boys' comics in Japan is structured around this theme. The same goes for anime targeted at boys.
言おうと思ったんだ。お前が世界のどこにいても必ず会いに行くって。ユリア。
It might be a result of Japanese policies, but they are exposed to and brainwashed by such influences, and it doesn't change as they age. Japanese men remain simple and childish, always searching for their ideal woman and feeling betrayed from a young age. On the other hand, many Japanese men have an introverted otaku-like nature, lacking in social skills. Here, social skills refer to observing and adapting to the surroundings. In Japan, it might seem like students are strictly raised with social rules, but in reality, they are just suppressed, not directed towards expanding their perspectives. In contrast, women excel at observing their surroundings, especially when suppressed, striving to improve their status. Status improvement is relative, often achieved by belittling someone. In this process, men become sacrifices and get hurt. Let me explain how they have been hurt specifically. Childhood, as they enter kindergarten or nursery school. Group persecution by girls against boys begins. For boys stepping into society for the first time, kindergarten is an unknown place, but for girls, it's already a battlefield. However, boys at this age are often too self-conscious to notice the attacks. The targets of persecution at this stage are boys lacking cleanliness. Next comes elementary school. Boys who can't play sports have almost no human rights. In junior high school, delinquents are favored. In high school, only those with humor or conversational skills are acknowledged. In college, the polarization of men reaches its peak. Those lacking a sense of fashion are completely ignored. After becoming working adults, it's about economic factors. The rich are overwhelmingly praised with no opposite. Considering the aforementioned process, almost all men who do not possess cleanliness, athleticism, delinquency, an interesting personality, a sense of style, and wealth have experienced persecution or mistreatment from women. They fully understand the lovely aspects of women such as physical and material traits, but dislike the spiritual aspects, personality, specific social behaviors, dishonesty, cunning, maliciousness, and increased exclusivity in groups. They never forget these.
For those men who have been unsuccessful with women for a long time, some eventually acquire status and economic power over the years.
Those who gain such power often seek revenge. It's a counterattack against the women who oppressed them. The methods vary, but the most straightforward is to manipulate women with money. In economically struggling Japan, there are many young women in financial need. The targets of revenge are often young women, perhaps because they are easier to manipulate and also fulfill sexual desires. The prevalence of Japanese men liking underage women might be related to similar reasons. They may believe that younger women have fewer opportunities to be exposed to society, and the chances of them having unpleasant qualities are lower. Despite being genetically and biologically overwhelmingly stronger, women pretend to be the object of male desires. They create an appearance of vulnerability. In other words, they lie. For example, Wearing a kimono and acting like it's inconvenient is one such strategy. It's all for gaining an advantageous position in marriage and other situations. Men who fall for these lies enter a kind of hypnotic state, submit marriage documents to the authorities, and it's the beginning of the end. For example, for a 40 or 50-year-old man, dating apps seem to be a perfect hunting ground. Of course, they end up being the prey. Women, painted in lies, lay traps for naive men who have money. By the way, Japan has an idol culture. Since the 1980s, various idols have been active, and one consistent element is creating an image of someone to be protected. Idol enthusiasts devote themselves to this, investing significant amounts of money. However, many female idols secretly engage in romantic relationships. In Japan, idol romance is forbidden, ostensibly for the sake of fans. So, when a romantic relationship is revealed, the fans' despair and anger are unimaginable. This traitor. Basically, Japanese men who struggle with attracting women dislike the tendency of women to look down on them. Even men who are somewhat successful but still dislike women despise women's cunning nature. Men who are successful with women but still dislike them tend to see women not as individuals but as females. In other words, in Japanese men, there is a high likelihood of not seeing Japanese women as individuals to be respected. However, in recent years, a new type of man has emerged. This started with the appearance of Hatsune Miku in 2007, an ideal woman who would never betray oneself. Along with the seriousness of global warming, people are advocating for reducing CO2 emissions by giving up reproduction and loving AI. In this new era, people have engraved this belief into their genes. While in the past, Japan had a culture of being ashamed of being a virgin past the age of 20, now it seems there are many men in their 50s who are still virgins.
童貞率、出生率が高いという結果を、
はい。
東京大学が出してきてるんですけれども、
いや、誠に遺憾ですよね。
遺憾。
残念ですね、こんな。
ご自身は、
はい。僕、バキバキ童貞ですね。
彼女とか、
もう当然なく。
In the future, the environment may change, and there might not be a need to accelerate misogyny due to fear of women's true nature. By the way, in the past, Japanese women sought three highs: high education, high income, and tall stature in men. A few years ago, they began compromising for average income, average looks, and a peaceful life known as the three averages. Currently, they seem to be looking for the three no's. No violence, no debt, and no cheating. Women might be struggling, but I don't have first-hand knowledge. Lastly, the term misogyny often leads to strong criticism, with the word itself taking on a life of its own. It's better to stick to simply someone, and that way we can live in peace. It's something like this. Thank you for watching. Until next time.